the claims by President Putin and other Russians that they had to go into Crimea, that is reminiscent of claims that were made back in the 1930s when Germany under the Nazis kept talking about how they had to protect German minorities in Poland, in Czechoslovakia, and elsewhere throughout Europe.
That was Hillary Clinton yesterday clarifying her comments after she reportedly compared Russian President Vladimir Putin to Hitler at a behind-closed-door meeting earlier this week. That got lots of attention, even some criticism, and it shows just how center spotlight Hillary already is and will be from now until Election Day and perhaps beyond. Can't even really call that, I'm not sure if you would call that a gaffe. I don't think so. I just think making Hitler references is stupid in this day and age, no matter which side of the aisle you're on. But every little thing that she says is going to be analyzed 6 ways to Sunday, and she didn't run the greatest of campaigns in 2008. So my question is do you think she's got everything fixed to go in 2016, and is she a better candidate this go-around than she was in 2008?
I think she has things fixed. I mean, obviously the tack was Obama was prepared to run a 50-state campaign, whereas Hillary was just looking for, a few states, the big states, the caucus, the Iowa caucus, New Hampshire, and a few other states where Obama was in it for the long run, and that's where Hillary lost her momentum. Now, as a better candidate, absolutely not. She's not. She's still the same Hillary Clinton, who's been very liberal, who tried to go behind closed doors, meet without Congress, and pass a health care bill, which Obama has successfully done, pass it, but it's not a successful program, unfortunately. But I still don't see Hillary Clinton as a leader that is going to take this country and improve the economy, giving her values, which are still very much liberal. And that's not where this country is. If it was her husband, he's more moderate. He's passed welfare reform, put 100,000 more police on the streets. Very different personalities.
Counterpoint.
I think you couldn't be more wrong. I think the country, one, appreciates her very pragmatic style of liberalism. You can call it what you want. She is a pragmatic person with a tremendous amount of experience, plus the ability to relate to individual people, to empathize, particularly with women and people of color, much more than any Republican candidate we've ever seen. And she also has a ability to get stuff done. I mean, I happen to be a strong supporter of the president, but he has not done well enough with Congress, no question about it. And we have this very divided Congress. I think she can help move us a long way towards resolution of some of that conflict. Some of it, frankly, the Republican Party has just been obstinate. But there are some members who are willing to work with her. And I think that will be a tremendous advantage, and that people, ordinary people who are fed up with Congress, will say, we're going to vote. We don't have to agree with Hillary about everything. She will get some stuff done.
Will she get stuff through a Republican Congress?
Listen, Hillary Clinton's senatorial record, let's remember, she was a U.S. Senator from New York, is just as shallow as Obama's record as Senate. They accomplished, and she accomplished nothing.
8 years.
She accomplished nothing.
Nothing. Come on,
the economy
Richard.
upstate
You cannot say
had not. She had promised the economy upstate would improve. That didn't happen. She was a superstar when she went as a U.S. Senate.
You do not hold a senator responsible for
this
the
isn't the ordinary
New
senator. This is Hillary Clinton.
I don't care.
Your
You're
husband
holding
is a former
her
president.
responsible for the upstate New York economy during the middle of a recession. It's just absolutely unfair.
She promised to change it. She did not do much when she was a U.S. Senator. Now, I have to agree that as Secretary of State, she definitely has a lot more foreign affairs experience than maybe any other candidate that will come up against her. And I think that's where her power is. But on domestic issues, I still have yet to see her make a difference on domestic issues.
All I know, Andrew, is when she left the Senate, or while she was in the Senate, Republicans were greatly praising her for being able to work with her. So that's bipartisanship. And all I can tell you is, because I moderated the debate with her up in Rochester, New York. And all I can tell you is myself and a team of about 5 reporters that were assigned to be on the panel, we spent about a month doing nothing but trying to figure out ways, frankly, to trip Hillary Clinton up during this debate. And no, she passed with flying colors.
I want to touch on something that Shelley said, a pragmatic Democrat.
Yeah.
There are a lot of Democrats, a lot of progressives who look back on the Clinton years. Bill Clinton, beloved today, not as much when he was in the White House for being as pro-Wall Street a guy as anybody who's ever sat in the Oval Office. And you know, you could argue he's the president who signed off on repeal of some of the regulations on Wall Street that a lot of people think led to the recession.
Glass-Steagall Act,
Glass-Steagall, absolutely.
which merged the investment banks and the banks together.
It feels like the Democratic Party is to the left of that place today. Will Democrats be happy with a Hillary Clinton? Is she liberal enough? Is she progressive enough for today's Democratic Party?
Well, I think this concept of the party is really not the issue of the day. It's not about the parties, it's about the voters. And voters are much less identified with the parties. They can register as an independent, they can register as a nothing, they can register as a Republican. At the end of the day, for the United States president, they're going to vote for someone who they think can move our country along. And she conveys confidence, competence, and empathy, which we are leaving off the table. And I'm telling you, for women voters, she is absolutely the only person who talks to that quality. She knows what it's like to put your kid on the bus and hope they're going to come home safe, and nobody else can do it.
But I've heard from a lot of people say over the years about Hillary Clinton that maybe they don't know exactly where she stands on any issue. She may be trying to pluck the issues and pragmatically, to use your term, ride whatever issue she can as far as she can. Do you feel like you know what she stands for? Does everybody on the panel feel like they know what Hillary Clinton stands for as opposed to what she thinks what card will play to help her electorally?
No, I would. I have no idea
for this one.
what positions, where she stands on each issue, except to say that she takes a very liberal approach, however pragmatic it is, to issues, and that's just not. It's not that approach which Obama has used. It's not very helpful towards moving this country forward.
Again, I totally disagree. First place, we're criticizing Obama. The guy, we know where the guy stands. We have someone who absolutely articulates where he stands, and now we're saying we don't like him because he says things we don't agree with. Look, on the basic principles and her ethics and her character and her views on, certainly on choice, on American security in the world, on the need, the greatest need, which is to create more jobs here in America. We know where she stands. Come on now, she's not wishy-washy. She's the least wishy-washy person I can imagine.
Joe Biden in 2016. That's all I got.
You put that on your hope chest. In 2008, Bill Clinton was not as much of an asset to Hillary Clinton as you might have thought he would have been. He sort of stuck his foot in it in South Carolina, did not help her. Is Bill Clinton an asset to Hillary Clinton in 2016?
He's a 3,000% asset to his wife in 2016. He's learned from his mistakes. See, what we're losing in this debate, Mr. Obama was the perfect storm at that time, and he was the perfect candidate. You have to remember, it's almost like a song that's out there, Here We Go Again. This was Hillary's nomination, period. All the national headlines, and then here comes this upstart who had delivered a great speech at the convention and obviously was going somewhere in politics, but we didn't know that his time was right here, right now. He had the magic touch. The Clintons, and to answer your question, Bill Clinton did not, neither did Hillary, and this is why they lost, and I know because they were trying to figure out how to counter him in private. They did not know how to respond to Obama. If they went on the attack, it would offend African American and progressive voters that they would need in the general election. So you couldn't do that to the first serious candidate of color for the White House. So they chose to stand back and pull back, which was a major mistake because Obama was not joking and went on to win the nomination. And he beat Bill Clinton at his own game. That's not going to happen again. Bill Clinton is ready this time.
Last question. We had a historic election in 2008 with the election of Barack Obama. It would be a historic election as the first female president if it's Hillary Clinton. How much of a factor will that be in the race if she enters it?
First of all, we are leaving out the fact that Obama won twice. We're acting like he only won once. This guy was re-elected. The American people.
Good point.
You
Good
may not
point.
like him. You may not like him. The guy ran a second time. He won with
Proven lightning does strike twice in the same place.
No.
Wow.
But really, let's not make it like he's a one-termer failure.
Good
The guy really has succeeded in many things. Some obviously not. But I just don't think it's fair to sort of push him away as if he was a nondescript president.
To answer your question, I remember, I forgot the name of the the National Cathedral in Washington.
Yes.
When she dropped, I was in the room when she dropped out the race, and I will never forget thousands of women that were there when Hillary, and that had to be the toughest day of her life because she thought her political career was over. Remember, she had already said she was leaving government before Secretary of State days. And all the women were saying how they felt let down at their opportunity of making history. So now you got your first black, now you're going to have your first woman.
And I think Hillary Clinton said it best when she said the right female president, or the right black president, or the right Latino president, whatever it is. Obviously,
Say Sarah Palin.
fine, I'll take her.
We're gonna,
But anyway, the right person, regardless of their gender, is what's due in the White House.
all right, we're going to shift gears here on RFL. And up next, if anyone has ever made a piñata that looks like President Obama and needs a place to sell it, they're probably in Washington. CPAC, the conservative We Hate Obama Festival, going strong in D.C., but is all that bluster really just for show? That's next on RFL.